Hey guys, Ben here. Welcome back to another live stream. Today we are live with the DCTV show episode 111. I just realized how many we've done. Obviously, we haven't done them every week, but for a while we were doing it every week. But we are back this week. We've been consistent for like the last month of live streams every Thursday. Okay, I just got an advert because I have a tab open for YouTube so I can see your comments. But anyway, welcome to the live stream. I'm very excited to have you guys here today. We've got a couple of topics. Just going to be me in today's live stream, but that means it's going to be more interactive so we can talk face to face, me and you guys. And yeah, so there's some interesting topics that we have. There isn't as much news. Obviously, the big news recently was Superman Lois ending. We'll continue to talk about it, but it's just going to be in a slightly different way. We're more going to talk about it being the final season and the things we want to happen in the final season, just like Nathan has actually said in the chat. So welcome to everyone who is joining right now. We're in for a good live stream. Going to be streaming for about half an hour or so, or maybe 40 minutes. We'll see. But as I said, it's just me today, so I need you guys to send in super chats, send in those questions, and I'm going to be sure to answer all of you guys. And I'm going to keep answering you guys in the normal chat as well. So if you can't send in super chats, no problem. Send in any Arrowverse, any DCU, any DCTV questions, or even MCU questions, and I'll be sure to answer them. I'm sure some of you guys have some questions about different things that are probably not like on my actual list of what to talk about. So yeah, I'm always open to talk about anything. Okay, so first things first, let's go through the super chats. Shout out to Cal Roswell, who is normally a member of the channel. He's actually sent in a 99-cent super sticker, so thank you very much. And Nathan has just come in with 5 memberships. So as you can see in the chat, 5 people have accepted the invite. So basically, how it works when Nathan, and Nathan's normally the one to do this, when he gifts memberships, basically he's bought like a package of 5 memberships, the base grade, super friend, and it's given out to everyone who is watching the live stream, 5 people. And so those you guys, Russell Brown, Defunct, Chris Brown, Omar, and Jonathan, have been gifted a membership. So shout out to Nathan for sending those. And so that means for all of you guys who were just gifted a membership, you can join in our monthly, we're going to try and make it monthly, members live stream. So in our next members live stream, you guys are able to join. So if you're watching now and you haven't left the stream or anything, please be sure to comment your Twitter or your Instagram, and I'll be sure to add you guys into the group so you know when we're going to do live stream. So best thing is Instagram. So if you guys have Instagram, let us know in the chat. So shout out to Nathan for gifting the 5 members. That is absolutely amazing. I really appreciate it, Nathan. So thank you very much. Nathan also sends in a big $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Nathan. Really appreciate it. Nathan has a very interesting question, and as I said, this was actually one of my first starting questions that I actually had to go over in the live stream. So this is perfect, Nathan. So let's go ahead and jump into Superman and Lois. So we're going to be discussing Superman and Lois for a while here. And so let's talk about Superman and Lois's final season. But first things first, let's read out what Nathan had to say. Okay, so yeah, he's been trying to give one to Gary for a while, but I believe Gary said to me he was in Italy. So that's why he hasn't been tuning in like the last 2-3 weeks. But we'll see today if he actually shows up. But yeah, it's a shame that he missed out on them. Okay, so Nathan says, considering it's the final season of Superman and Lois, what are the top things you want to see happen? So let's go through this. So for those of you guys in the chat right now, let us know what are the things you want to see in Superman and Lois's final season, that being, of course, season 4. So I think for me, the number one thing I'm thinking is, okay, I just want it to be a good season. Like, I don't want the budget restrictions to hamper what is an amazing show already. And I want the 10 episodes to be packed. Like, I don't want to have a filler episode. I don't want to have episodes where I'm not like fully engaged. I want them to go all out with this final season. And in terms of character and story, let's say for me, I want to see Jordan finally wear a proper Superboy suit. That would be one of my highest priorities. Let me know, what do you guys think about that? Would you love to see Jordan in his proper Superboy outfit? Obviously, he's got that kind of prototype outfit right now, but I would really, really like to see that. So let me know, what do you think of that? In terms of what else I would like to see, I guess just more Lex Luthor, and I want them to actually have a proper good ending to the Doomsday story, because I have, I'm actually scared about how they're going to figure out the Doomsday story, because we know there's huge budget cuts. So what are they going to do with Doomsday, since the last time we saw them, that being Superman and Doomsday, they were on the moon. They were fighting on the moon. Like, I don't know, in this current iteration for the next season, is it actually going to be a reality that, we're going to see a proper big fight, and, the actual fallout of that fight? We are not sure right now, but, we can always hope, I guess. So, yeah, I think those are my priorities right now, Nathan, in terms of what I would like to see in the final season. I guess number one, as I said, is just, a good show, and that's it. Like, that's as simple as it gets. I just hope it's an enjoyable season and a good final season. My cat is literally right here. She is trying to invade the stream as always. So if you, see a paw or two, you know what it is. We got a question from Sabarus. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Will McCall Brooks return as Jimmy Olsen? Oh my god. There you go. She just jumped onto the stream in front of the cameras. She just wants to be in front of the cameras, don't you, huh? You do. Say hello to Hazel. Okay, I'll put her on the windowsill. Okay, yeah. Let's continue from this. So, will McCall Brooks return as Jimmy Olsen? I think that is an interesting topic. I think that's definitely worth exploring properly, because I think Jimmy Olsen is a pivotal character to Superman, but obviously we haven't seen a version of Jimmy Olsen in Superman Lois. So, do I think it's likely? No, because I don't think Superman Lois cares that much about, the Supergirl Jimmy Olsen, that being James, aka McCall Brooks. So I'm gonna say probably not very likely, but obviously it would be really, really good, in my opinion, if they actually did that, because yeah, he's pivotal to what, Superman is, I guess, in the comics and in many different projects. I just think that, in this case, he's less important because they haven't introduced a James Olsen. Nathan says, I absolutely agree. It would be good to see Jordan in a proper Superboy suit. And oh my god, Cat Attack. She's just staring at the camera like, give me Superchats now. That's right. She's literally there. So chilling in the background. Yeah, super chat for the cat, for her cat food. But yeah, I would love to see a proper Superboy suit. That would definitely be up there for me. I feel like most of you guys would probably agree. So, okay, let's move on. So I'm just going to change one thing here. And keep sending in your super chats, keep sending in your comments in the live chat, and I'll be sure to keep answering you guys. I'm just going to change this one thing and just let everyone know that we are streaming now, just to get people coming in. All right. So just came on. When is Superman returning? So the official news is that Superman and Lois is going to be returning to film. We don't have a return date for the actual show airing, but we're presuming it's going to be about June or July, so in the summer. But we've got the official news. This is our next topic, that Superman and Lois is returning to film, and it's going to start on January the 11th. So right now it's the 16th of November where I am. And so that means we are not far away from January the 11th, right? We need to get through this month, we get through December, and then we're into, just past the first week of January, and then you're into, the 11th. So that's not a long time. That's after what would traditionally be the Christmas break. And we have official news that is going to be ending in April. So that's just over 3.5 months in terms of them doing those final 10 episodes. So I think that's like a fairly standard amount of time. I know that Arrow got a bit longer, but I think they factored Crisis into it. So yeah, the official end date for Superman and Lois filming season 4 is April 22nd, sorry, in 2024. So yeah, it's going to run from January 11th to April 2022. April 22nd. Why do I keep on saying 2022? I don't know. But anyway, so that's just over 3.5 months, but it's tentative date. So what that means is it could change. So if Superman and Lois starts on time and they go well, but they find some delays along the way, there's always the chance that the April 22nd date could be pushed back and we could go into the start of May for the end of Superman Lois filming. So I want to give a huge shout out once again to Nathan for gifting another 5 memberships. That's 10 memberships in this entire stream. That is huge. Thank you so much, Nathan. And shout out to everyone that has been given a membership. I see Jim has got a membership, Jeremiah, Daniel, Perfect Image, and AG. So shout out to all of you guys, whether you're just joining the stream or if you just happen to join the stream, you just been given a membership. Basically, what a membership means on my channel is you can join our members stream. So like I said earlier, give me a message on Instagram. I'm at the DCTV show, or give me a message on Twitter at the DCTV show, and we'll be sure to add you into our group. It's a members group, and you'll be able to come on stream and talk to me live. I'm sure some of you guys have tuned into some of the live streams before. And so it's just going to be a normal live stream like this, but we'll have the members in. And so shout out to Nathan, a fellow member who has gifted 5 more members. That is insane. So shout out to Nathan. That is absolutely awesome. Okay. Nathan also says, I would love to see Lex in a Lexo suit. Yeah, I guess that would be another thing. You want to see Lex actually, do something, right? Because yeah, it's cool that he created Doomsday, and it's cool that he's facing off against Lois. It's good that Lois has a villain, and Lex isn't necessarily going after Superman. He's going after Lois, and Superman's just in the way, right? So yeah, I think a Lexo suit would be awesome. I think it's in the realm of possibility. I know, maybe you'd have to do CGI for some of the, in the sort of like when they're in the sky fighting, Superman against Lex in a Lexo suit. But yeah, I could see it happen. I would like to see Martian Manhunter and Superman and Lois. Yeah, Martian Manhunter would be good. I don't know how likely it would be to be the Supergirl Martian Manhunter, so played by David Howard. Probably not, only because, like I said, with James Olsen, I don't feel like it's super important to the showrunners of Superman Lois. However, I would not be opposed to seeing a Martian Manhunter on the show. That would definitely be interesting, or maybe a cyborg Superman or something like that. That would be good for this final season. Also, I think we should give Superboy a villain. I don't know what you guys think about that. Do you think Superboy should get his own villain? I think that would be pretty cool, to be honest. Okay, so let's continue with this. So yeah, we've got the official dates for Superman Lois returning. So that means in January, we're going to start seeing more behind the scenes. And obviously, we're going to break it all down when it comes out. There's going to be photos, videos, and everything. And so it's going to be super exciting because this is the final season. And, there's a lot to look forward to. But I think one question we have is, with the final season, are we going to round out the Arrowverse properly? Like, are we going to have some cameos, some final crossovers like we had in The Flash. Well, I think I said this last week. I feel like the Arrowverse has kind of already ended because Eric Wallace did such a good job at, bringing Arrow back, bringing all these characters back, that I feel like Superman Lois doesn't really have, the pressure, even though it technically is the last Arrowverse show. It's actually more important It's actually less important than the Flash series finale or the Flash's final season, because I feel like Superman Lois is just going to focus on its characters. I think they're going to bring back as many of their characters as possible. And I would love for one cameo. Like, could you see the Flash or Supergirl show up? Even if it's an alternate version of any of these characters, I think we'd all be really down. Again, we don't know what type of story they're doing this season. If they do a multiversal story, of course, that would be more involved with the Great Arrowverse. But considering Lex Luthor is going to be, the main villain in this final season, I'm guessing is going to be a little bit more grounded. If they do multiverse, I don't know. That's your number one. They can keep count. I don't know how wide and how expansive they want to go for this final season, considering all the big budget cuts. Okay, so what do you guys think about that? Chris says it sucks. It's the final one. Yeah, I agree. It would be great, but needs more seasons. Yeah, I agree. Like, I wish we got a season 5 as well. That would have been absolutely brilliant. Nathan says, I wonder what Lois will be investigating this season. Yeah, I guess she's probably going to be, all over Lex Luthor this season, trying to find a proper reason to put him in prison, because that was the reason he was released, because she kind of felt bad that basically he was set up by onomatopoeia, and that's the reason why he ended up in jail. And that's kind of the reason that this whole situation has happened, because Lex has been kind of stewing away in the back in this prison, just waiting for his moment to come out and get revenge on Lois for sending him to prison. Obviously unrightfully so, but he is a villain at the end of the day, so there's going to be many things that he could be brought on. That's your number 2. Those of you guys who aren't regulars to the live stream, you know that when it gets late, because it's 11:20 here in the UK, you know that it's traditional. It's traditional for me to start yawning. So I apologize, guys. I'm a sleepy guy. Kal-El in the chat says Superman Lois is fire. That's true. It is fire. I really can't wait to see this final season. Like, I just love the show so much, and it's such a shame it's the end of the Arrowverse. Like, I'm really looking forward to when we have more DC shows. I just think it's a shame we have to wait a while. And yes, that is a cat in the background for those of you guys joining soon, recently. 3W Edit says midnight view, nearly in about 40 minutes. Will we see the death of Superman in season 4? So some people have speculated that we'll see the death of Superman in season 4 at the start of the season, because the cliffhanger of season 3 was obviously Superman fighting Doomsday on the moon, and we had some death of Superman reminiscent scenes, right? But I don't know how likely it is. I feel like it could be likely, but do we want 2 episodes or 3 episodes without Tyler? Like, them pretending he's dead and then he comes back with the black suit and everything. Like, I personally don't want to see it, only because I want to see as much Superman as possible in this final season, despite it being a cool story, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I like the death of Superman story, but I think it doesn't really suit it to a final season. It would have suited it to a past season, kind of like when they did Flashpoint and the Flash. Like, obviously we expected a lot more from that, and it to be dragged on longer, but they never actually follow through with that. And so I feel like they're just going to cop out of the Superman Doomsday fight. And yeah, a big cop out could be the death of Superman, and that's how they save budget. 3 episodes. All right, that's your number 3. Congrats, Nathan. Yeah, if we get 3 episodes in and we don't get Superman, like, I think that's a waste of time, if I'm being completely honest, for the final season. Shout out to Dan, aka Flash Freak. He is here. Welcome to the live stream. Nice to see you. Cal says, do you think they will still be in Smallville? Yeah, I do. So there were some photos the other day, and basically I'm tired because I have a cat. She wakes us up every morning like super early. That's why. So I think I have an excuse this time. I never used to have an excuse, but um, I have seen photos. They still have the Smallville set. They don't have the house, but they could move it to another location that's very similar, and they can just, VFX like cover it up and pretend it's the same place. But that's the only big change we've heard of right now in terms of the set. But in regards to the actual Smallville set, it still exists, it's still there, and I believe it's just ready to go for when they actually start filming. So yeah, that is what is up right now in regards to what I think. Like, I think we're going to still be Smallville based, but I think we could see more of Metropolis this season for sure. Okay, so if you guys have any final Superman Lois questions, please be sure to send them in now. And any final super chats you want to send in throughout this live stream, start sending them in now, because now is a good time. As you know, we're not completely at the end of the stream, but we're at a good point, and we're switching to another question in a minute, another topic. So yeah, you're on 4 or 3.5. I try to hold it back a bit for you guys, so it's not just like a sleepy stream. But yeah, so send in any final super chats that you have, and I'll be sure to answer them. Thank you to everyone that sent them in so far, and a big shout out to Nathan for all the member gifting. That is insane. 10 members. That is, yeah, we've pretty much, we're adding up good, Nathan. Thanks to Nathan. So yeah, let's talk about the next topic. Again, you can keep sending in Superman Lois related questions, and I'll be sure to answer them, whether it's super chats or in the chat. And also, if anyone fancies becoming a member this stream, of course, you can click the join button down below. But yeah, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. This was some breaking news earlier this week that Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow has found a writer, which is a big deal after the end of the writer's strike. We've been hearing about Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow being a thing for a while now, since it was announced they're actually going to be doing Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow in James Gunn's DCEU. And so yeah, it's very exciting that this project is going along well, and they are looking for a director right now. So that means that I guess production could start in the next year. Like, it could start in the next 6 months for all I know. So this is a very good step, and I like it that they've announced a writer. They've made a big deal with the writer. She was actually writing a previous Supergirl film, which would have been a spin-off off of the Flash film that came out earlier this year. So that would have been in the DCEU, but this Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow film is linked to the DCU. It's going to be different. We don't know who's going to play Supergirl. Like, will it be Melissa? Will it be Sasha? I feel like Sasha's a bit more, acceptable, like, because it's a real recent thing, and obviously Melissa hasn't been Supergirl for quite a while now. But yeah, so right now we got the announcement that Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow has got its writer, which is very exciting. Of course I want it to be Melissa, like, without a doubt. Obviously I like Sasha in the Flash, but definitely she was my favorite in terms of like all time. So let me pop up the article. We've got the writer here. So DC movie Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow finds its writer in Anna Noguera. That's, I think, how you pronounce it. So she's an actor, and she's written plays before, and now obviously she's previously written the Supergirl film that was supposed to be a spin-off of The Flash, but that didn't turn out to be. Like, they just basically canned the project, and they actually weren't developing Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow before James Gunn and Peter Safran came on board and created DC Studios. So this is basically them being like, okay, we liked your screenplay for this other Supergirl film. Let's bring some of that into Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. But also, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is based on a comic book, so they're obviously going to have to base a lot of the story around, what actually happened in that comic book. Basically, if you haven't read it, Supergirl goes into space on her 21st birthday, so it's supposed to be like a young version of Supergirl, and she goes out exploring, and yeah, so she's at this like space bar, and she runs into this young alien girl called Ruthie or something. I don't know how to pronounce it, but basically she's just on the run, and her father had been killed by this like sort of mercenary, like a space mercenary in space. And yeah, so what happens after that is the girl goes up to Supergirl and says, "Oh, you're Supergirl. Can you capture her and kill, the guy's name is Krem. He is the villain of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow." And basically, uh, everything, I don't want to spoil too much because it's a really good comic book, but something terrible happens to Supergirl, and it's at the hands of Krem, right? And so Supergirl gets mad and hunts Krem with Ruthie across the whole universe, like across, they go on like to many planets, and it's like this proper cosmic film, a proper cosmic story in the comics, and it would make for a very great Supergirl film in my opinion. So yeah, I really like what they did with this comic book, and I'm looking forward to seeing this. But yeah, right now no director is attached, and her deal was only recently closed to write this Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow film. Also, she's probably going to be writing some other DC projects because she has like an overall deal with Warner Brothers. And so yeah, that is kind of what has been going on with this Supergirl film. Obviously, it's very exciting if you're a fan of Supergirl like myself. I'm looking forward to seeing this film, and I love the comic book, so I'm very happy that they actually chose to go with this specific comic book, because that's kind of, I used to read a lot of comics, and then I went off it for a bit, and then I got back into it, and that was like in 2021 maybe, or 2020, and that's when I found this. It was, releasing week to week, and I was super excited, and it always lived up to it. So it was a really good comic by Tom King. So yeah. Nathan says, "I love these names they give these superheroes: Superman, Man of Tomorrow; Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. What's the Superboy of the day after tomorrow? Superboy, the boy of yesterday." Yeah, it's always very similar. But I wonder if Lobo could be brought in. He's normally the hunter of Kryptonians. Yeah, um, yeah, I guess so. But I like Krem. I like this villain. I like it's someone that we haven't seen before. It's a brand new villain for Supergirl. So I would kind of like that. Yeah, Laura's my favorite for sure, though. Maybe she could play her mum or something. Yeah, could be. I mean, that is your number 4. That was a big yawn. So congrats, Nathan. Ben should play Superboy in the DCU. Well, I don't know if I'm, am I young enough? How old is Superboy supposed to be? I don't know. Superboy is supposed to be like a teenager. I guess I could play a teenager maybe. Um, Yeah, okay, I'm gonna pop this off my screen. So as we go into the last bit of the live stream, so I want to remind you guys, send in your final super chats right now, and any other questions that you actually want to send in, please be sure to do it now, because as I said, I'm very tired and it's very late, and we've gone about half an hour. So let's do some last final questions. I also heard that Superman Legacy has cast one of its villains. We don't know who the actual villain, like the main villain, is going to be of the film, but it's coming out summer 2025. James Gunn confirmed the other day that it's coming out when it's supposed to, because they're going to start filming relatively soon, because the strike for the actors and the writers have ended. Obviously, the screenplay was done before the writer's strike, with James Gunn working on it for quite a while. But yeah, the DCU is really getting going under James Gunn. There is lots that we can look forward to. I'm specifically excited to see some of the TV shows they come up with, because obviously I love DCTV and I love coming back week to week having a DC show. So I'm looking forward to the Penguin, which is obviously separate, but I'm looking forward to the DC shows that are linked into the DCU, especially in the absence of the Arrowverse. We got a cat underneath going in the bag. That's so funny. She's underneath my chair. She's walking away. But yeah, Danny says, well, Ben, you're only 12, so you could do it. Yeah, that's true. Maybe I'm actually too young to play Superboy. Can Superboy be 12? 4.5 actual. Yeah, actual yawns. Which one is Krem? I can't remember. Hunter called Krem. He's only in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Sorry, one sec. My cat is meowing. One sec. All right, we have a special guest for the end of the live stream. I want to say, those of you guys in the chat, say hi to Hazy. She is here. She is crazy meowing. She wants to be let into the other room, but it is bedtime, so no thank you. So yeah, I'm going to let Hazy go because she is trying to wriggle out. Come on, let me put you down. But yeah, little cameo for the end of the live stream. Yeah, so cat is the practice for a baby. Yeah, I guess it could be. But yeah, it's like having a baby, honestly, but more chill. Like you can leave them in the day and they just do their own thing. But yeah, she's great. She's awesome. But yeah, any final questions, send them in now. We'll be sure to answer them as we end this live stream. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes. Send in any final super chats or send in any final questions. But yeah, I am waiting for you guys. So, dogs are better. Wow. Nah, I'm a cat person, so definitely not. I'm surprised you didn't name her Melissa. I'm not that sad. Maybe in the future, maybe a second cat can be called Melissa. But I feel like Melissa's pretty much a human name. Like I don't feel like it's very animal. Like I can't imagine saying, "Hello, Melissa," or going up to a dog and being like, "Melissa, Melissa." That's kind of weird. Like, yeah, it feels like a very human name. Some names just sound very human. Some sound like good for animals. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Was there any final things in my notes I want to talk about? Not really. Yeah, we kind of covered everything for this live stream, to be honest. But I'm just looking forward to January, if I'm being completely honest, guys. Like, I'm just looking forward to having some actual content and seeing like actual behind the scenes photos, behind the scenes videos, and everything like that. So I'm just looking forward to actually seeing, some content. We've been very much so drained for content since the CW cancelled all of our shows. So yeah, it's not been, like a good run for the Arrowverse or DC in general. But, looking, sorry. I'm just looking forward to actually seeing some stuff now. So, okay. Yeah, doesn't seem like many questions are coming in now. So, maybe. Oh, okay. Nathan has a question. Oh, what was that post you put on Instagram? The Japanese food place. So it's basically it's a DC restaurant in London called Park Row. It's an amazing restaurant. It's very fancy. It's like Michelin star style restaurant. So fancy food, and they just got a new Japanese chef, and so it's all penguin inspired. So inspired by the penguin from DC, and so they've orientated their menu, their food, and the way that the restaurant is laid out. There's all Easter eggs throughout the restaurant. It's amazing. It's such a good restaurant. I highly recommend it if you guys ever come to London. It's very central in London, and you go down and you go down these stairs. You go through a bookcase to enter the restaurant, like you're in Wayne Manor, basically. So the opening of the restaurant is Wayne Manor. Go down the stairs. There's the Batman music playing the whole time. You go in. There is the Iceberg Lounge in real life, and then there is the area with like Harley Quinn, and then there's other areas, and they have this whole like interactive DC immersive experience, which is super highly rated. That's actually a Michelin star. It's like 10 courses. It's mad. So anyway, they invited me yesterday. I went there for maybe the fourth time since it opened like a couple of years ago. I love it. I really love going back there. So yeah, I definitely have to go back there. Maybe we can do like a video. Wouldn't that be cool? Like imagine we filmed the video there. That's something we were actually talking about. So I would love to do that. Maybe at some point in the future, if we can get some guests down. Imagine we did like, a special video in there with like, I don't know, Boba and some of the other local DC YouTubers, maybe Flashverse or yeah, that would be awesome. I will definitely talk to those guys about doing something there. I would really love to do that and actually have like a bunch of videos to put out for you guys. So yeah, let me know, what do you think about that? That would be very cool. That would be different. Obviously, that would be, some in-camera work with some fellow YouTubers. I think that's something I would definitely like to set up at some point. So yeah, tell me, what do you guys think about that? Nathan says, Ben, when I came to do your film, we're definitely going to go there. I have to try that. Yeah, for sure, Nathan. Like, not everything there is expensive. I don't want to give that impression. Like, you can get some very reasonable stuff, but obviously if you go all out, it's going to be expensive because that's just how it is. But yeah, we'll do that for sure, Nathan, once we get around to doing the film finally. But yeah, that does it for this live stream, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, of course, hit that like button. Let's get those likes up as we end the stream. But for now, we're going to have a video out tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So tune in. That's 8 p.m. UK time. That's the same time I pretty much upload every day. So yeah, for now, thank you so much for watching. We'll be streaming once again next week on Thursday, and maybe we can, get around to filming something in real life. That would be really, really fun to do it in a place like the DC restaurant at Park Row. Okay, so thank you for watching. Good night.